Hi, and welcome to the maiden edition, or rather the first edition of Content Connect. Our first guest is Treasure, and in this episode, we're going to delve into her work, career, lifestyle, and some fun things about her. And hopefully, you can take one, two, or hell, even three things away from this entire conversation. So just sit back, enjoy, and yeah. Hi, Treasure, again.
Hi there, Nadine.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to actually host you on our maiden edition. And first thing I would like to ask is, why do you like Rema so much? Yeah,
I think I really like Rema because he's very authentic.
true.
I think his authenticity shines forth in a way that is truly believable, right? I feel like for a lot of people who are artists, you get used to like projecting this image,
Yeah,
but sometimes you can see through the cracks and you know that this person is trying to like form.
or
But
fit
Rema,
into.
Rema truly believes in himself and it's been consistent regardless of whatever phase of music he's been in. When he was in his trap boy phase, when he was in his Afrobeat phase, now doing his I don't even know what to call
Phase,
this
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But like that authenticity always shines through. You can
Mm-hmm.
tell he's truly, truly passionate about his
This craft,
art.
yeah.
And I like that in young people.
All right,
I like
that's
it
just a
very
bit of an
much.
icebreaker, but thank you for that. So for those that might not know you, I don't know why, but yeah, who are you? Why do we care? And what do you do?
Okay, my name is Treasure Okure. I am a content marketer and a storyteller. I help companies, both media and in tech and lifestyle as well, meet their marketing goals essentially through storytelling, through crafting compelling narratives.
All right, great. So let's go back a bit, right? You're currently marketing, right? Let's, professional background. How did you find your roots in marketing? With a bit of school stuff. Has any
Yeah.
of your school background influenced what field you're currently pursuing and all of
Uh,
that?
not really. I wouldn't
Okay.
say school influenced what I'm doing. I would say hunger. Um,
Okay.
during the pandemic in
Always
2020,
during the pandemic.
everybody went home and I wasn't receiving money at
Okay.
home anymore. So I decided that I was going to like look for a job. I got a job as an assistant for a celebrity.
Oh, okay.
That was my first job. We worked for a few months and then NSARS happened and
Oof.
like the world was just very shaky. So
Mm-hmm.
we ended our contract and then in December of that year, he reached out to me and told me that his manager wanted to hire me.
Oh,
Now his
okay.
manager was a marketing head for a label that handled influencers.
Oh, okay.
And so I said like helping the manager with work. And I think that's where I got really interested in like branding and marketing. Although I didn't see it as a career path for me. I just knew that I was a virtual assistant and I was like pretty good at my job. I think when I decided to like focus on marketing was when I started working with PC Timmy at Founders Connect.
Okay.
She was a marketing expert. She is a marketing expert.
Yeah.
And I was really fascinated by her.
Mm-hmm.
She also had a YouTube channel where she shared a lot of videos and knowledge on marketing. So I started watching those.
During the pandemic?
No,
Or
that was not,
post?
that was 2022.
Oh, okay, okay. We have
Yes.
jumped 2 years.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, go
Yeah,
on,
so
go
basically
on.
I worked as an assistant for like two to 3 years.
Okay.
And I started working with Peace February 2022.
Okay, pause. How did you get that job?
Okay, so I applied.
Okay, I mean, yes, you of course you applied, but like how? Like, was it like a Twitter, a
Oh
tweet
yeah,
or
so it
something?
was she made a tweet asking like basically saying, "Hi, I need an assistant."
Okay,
And then there was a link to fill.
okay, like a form or something.
Yeah, it wasn't just a form. Like she's a very interesting person. So she made a video and told
Okay.
everyone to watch that video, right? And then the video, she basically shared what she wanted in an assistant. And then she gave a code word. She said, to know that you have listened or you have watched this video, I would like you to write a piece about yourself. But in that piece, you should write Ijebu Gari. Like you should mention Ijebu Gari
Okay.
in the piece that you write.
Wow.
So I wrote my piece and I added Ijebu Gari to it. And I think she really liked the piece that I wrote. I still have it. And so I got an interview. I think there were about 12 people in the first stage.
Okay.
Then I got selected based off of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was that experience like working with Peace?
Oh, I loved it. I loved working at Founders Connect. It was very new for me. I think I realized that there was a difference with like between being an assistant for
Yeah.
some, like for the previous role and like
For the
actually
celebrity, yeah?
for this, not for the
Okay,
celebrity,
for his
for his
manager.
manager who I had worked with for like over a year and working with Peace. Peace's work ethic is crazy. So I had to like the first few months were really hard trying to like
Match up.
match up and
Yeah.
to learn. But that's learning curve. Once I had surpassed it, I started to feel really good at what
At
I
your job.
did. And then initially, like my role basically just entailed like being her assistant.
Okay.
But I think April of that year, we had a call because I was very confused about what I wanted to do with my life. Like I knew I was really good at writing, I was good at so many things, but I just felt very clueless. I felt lost. I felt like
Suffering from success.
I was in so, I was in so many different spaces, and that call made me realize that I had to focus on what I felt most led to. And to me, that was content marketing. So I started taking courses from that point.
Content
That's when I
marketing.
decided to become a marketer.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, and then with more experience, I started getting more control over Founders Connect as a brand, not
Okay.
over Peace, right? So that's where there was a
Interesting.
transition from just being her executive
So
assistant
actually working on
to being the
Founders Connect.
content lead for
Founders
Founders
Connect.
Connect.
Okay.
So I stayed there for about 2 years, and then I left December 2023.
Okay, then
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, now I work at Selar. I got the Selar job August 2022.
Okay.
They reached out to me because of the work I'd done at Founders
Founders
Connect.
Connect. Okay.
Yes, and I basically juggled both jobs
Until.
when I left Founders Connect in 2023, and now that's my job.
Okay.
So there's
okay,
been a lot of
okay.
overlapping.
Yeah, like juggling to before actually deciding
Yes.
to leave. What's like the major thing that made you realize that okay, it wasn't more of an okay, I can't juggle these two anymore, or was there something else behind the transition in itself?
In what way?
That's from juggling both Seller and Founders Connect to just being at Seller.
Oh, I was exhausted.
Okay, that's a very
And I
straightforward
was
answer.
I was really tired. I think as a student, because I was also studying at the time.
Law?
Yeah, I was studying law. As a student, there was a lot that was required of me. And I'd always been like very strategic about the amount of time and dedication I gave to work because I looked at my studentship and I realized that, I couldn't finish the first class.
Oh.
First of all, if you go to Unilag, shout out to Unilag, Faculty of Law only gives one person or two people at most first class. Not like they give. Like, people work hard for it.
Yeah, I get
But
what
I didn't
you
have
mean.
the dedication to like leave everything and focus on getting a first class. So I was like, okay, 2-1. We'll do 2-1, right?
Okay, we'll do 2-1.
So my year 3, year 2, year 3, year 4 were spent trying to like juggle school and work, right? But then I realized that if I wanted to pull up the 2-1, I needed to actually like have more time to focus and study. So that also motivated my leaving Founders Connect. And my year 5 results were way better than my year 4. So I think it actually paid off.
Reflected, yeah.
In some way, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm lovely for you. And
Thank you.
eventually pulled off the 2-1, yeah?
Bless God.
Nice. All right, so let's pull back a bit. Let's go to Founders Connect, yeah? What's your favorite Founders Connect project? I mean, there was Live in Lagos, there was the Builder Summit, there was obviously the online work you guys do, Instagram, YouTube. What's your favorite, let's say, iteration of Founders Connect?
I think it's hard to choose because I felt like everything in Founders Connect fed into itself, right? There was one overarching goal to like tell the stories of founders and operators in Africa, right? But like there were different ways in which we materialized that.
Okay.
I'm very partial to the events, especially the first event, because it felt really big for us at that point in time. We were a small media company, not making any money, and we were like, okay, we're going to pull off this event, right? It felt very, let's just do this thing. But then seeing it actually come to life
before your eyes,
before it actually did, was amazing, right? The amount of ownership on the team, the amount of dedication that everybody brought to pulling it off. I remember we used to have meetings every Sunday by 7 p.m., right? And those meetings always held. And they were always, like, there was a lot of documentation. This was serious business. And I think I found that very gratifying to see the results of those many Sundays spent together, ensuring that something something came to life, right? I also liked working on the brochure for the event.
That was a really good job. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
like
I
because
love
I
it.
think like for me, I was like, oh my god, it was beautiful seeing work that I had done in physical
Come to life. Yeah.
formats. Yes, I was so proud of that brochure, the prompts that were in it,
For the what's that
the
session? The networking
networking,
session.
yeah,
Yeah.
the rapid session, and yeah, that was very fun and exciting. Um, Beyond events, I've always loved the way we distribute content at
Yeah.
Founders Connect, which was something that I realized early on while
Okay.
there. So what we used to do previously was we just like the long form content was on YouTube,
YouTube. Yeah.
right? And so we just put like a small snippet on Instagram, right? So tell
Redirecting
people
people to
to
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
But then at some point, we realized that it wasn't enough to just
Yeah.
put one clip. So we said cutting the videos very strategically so that people would be sucked into the conversation and
They're not like, oh,
they'd
I want
get
to see
something.
more.
Exactly, they'd get something. Like in fact, the end goal wasn't even just like them going to watch the YouTube
YouTube
videos, even though that was important. But we realized that people don't always have the time
to watch a
to watch
30,
it
40, 50 minute long
exactly,
video. Yeah.
right? So in what way can we bring value to where they are, which was on our social media? And most of the like what I would call my proudest moments
Moments.
handling content were with those videos, right? It was my job to after Tito was our video editor.
Yeah.
After Tito would like finish working on it, it was my job to watch and come up with timelines that I felt would do well on social media. And in one of those instances, we had a video that had over 300,000 views. And
Nice.
it was a very huge thing to me because the founder wasn't very popular. So I knew it wasn't the popularity that was
It
driving
was
it.
the
It
content in
was the
itself
content
and the
itself that
selection. Yeah.
exactly that moved that. And so those things are very important. I think Founders Connect taught me the importance of distribution because a lot of people do not actually pay attention to
To
distribution,
distribution. Yeah.
right? Content shouldn't just die in some place after you've put it out. You should be able to always bring it back into life in one way or the other, whether it's through carousels, through podcasts, because we also had a podcast.
Oh wow. Okay. I did not actually know
Are you
that.
serious? Yeah, there's a podcast version. So if you go on Spotify, you can
Yeah.
watch every single, you
Google
can listen to every single
now,
Founders
of course,
Connect
that's great.
video episode through the reels on social
Yeah.
media, through posts, through all those formats. So I think that was it.
All right. What's, let me say, your favorite format out of all those things you mentioned?
I'm very, very passionate to carousels. I really like carousels. I feel like they're getting outdated, right?
Why?
I don't know. I feel like people get tired of
Scrolling.
scrolling. But I think it's one of those like very, especially if you're trying to like share something, it can be a very. I just really like carousels. There's no contenty
Way to put
reason.
it. Yeah.
But I really like carousels because they allow you so much creativity, right?
Especially
And you
those
might not
seamless ones.
exactly. Yeah, my
I actually watched your tutorial. It was pretty good.
yes. I also feel like they're very good for people who they're very beginner friendly. In a
True.
way because videos require some level of skill and
Editing, jump cuts, all that, yeah.
and especially the kind of videos that people want to see on social media. People don't want to just see you sit down in front of your camera and talk to them. So, like, if you're a small brand or a business, carousels are a good way for you to share valuable content until you get the means to like actually get a team that can help you create
Like
the kind of
video and
videos
other
that
kind
you
of.
want to do. So,
Okay,
yeah.
great. All right. So now let's sort of move to Selar, where you
Yeah.
currently work. What's your day to day like?
I wake up by 5 usually.
Wow.
Because there's a lot to do in a day. And I realized that because I'm also a creator, and it's very easy for me to get so sucked into doing work for all the people I work for.
Then
and
actually
not
doing it for
enough
yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
So by 5 to 6, I usually spend that like wellness. So I pray with my Bible, then I do Pilates. Then by 6, it's treasure time. So from 6 to 9, I spend time like working on things that I want to work on for myself.
Oh, okay.
Then work starts by 9. I'm currently working as a content marketer, but when I first joined Selar, I was a social media marketer. So my job changed September last year.
Can we talk about that change? So what was like day to day like as when you're in the social side and now as on the content marketing side?
Yeah, so basically I would liaise with Lydia. Lydia is the head of socials at Selar rather. So liaise, we talk about what we had to do. We usually had a content calendar that was obviously planned for the month, and then we just distribute that. And then there were any other tasks that were ancillary to my role or any other task that Milton, who's our CMO,
Sure.
had for me, I'll just carry them out.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically just tell me what to do, I'll do it for you.
The move from strategy to content marketing, was it vertical or horizontal?
It was a horizontal move
Okay.
because I'm still like in the same role,
Okay.
the same level.
Same level, yeah, but just like a
Yes.
sort of a shift.
Yeah, so it was a
Okay.
thing of how is treasure most helpful to you, right? I think he asked Lydia that question,
Oh, that's
and then
that's
he
a
now
good CMO.
asked he now asked Sophia. Sophia was the head of content. That question, and she was like, and they asked, "Oh, what's treasure strength? Do you think it's socials? Do you think it's content?"
Content, okay.
And everyone was like, "I think treasure is more content than socials, right?"
Do you like the change?
I did.
Okay.
I really did because like I had like articles I'd been wanting to write. There was this content pillar I developed at Selar called Learn with Selar.
Oh, yeah.
And I started it, and so I really wanted it to fly. But with social media, it's very, very, very limited. What's the amount of stories you can tell, right?
Sure.
And we needed our blog to show more life, so
And
to
have some
speak.
archive value as well.
Exactly. So I felt like the move was great. I also wanted to learn SEO because I felt like on the social media angle, I knew what I was doing,
Sure.
right? But there were so many things that I didn't want to know. And my goal in life is to be a full stack marketer. I want to be able to do paid ads. I want to do email marketing. I want to do SEO. I want to do everything. So I thought like there was no better way for me to learn than to learn under Sophia, who was the then head of content at
okay.
Selar. So I liked the move and I liked the stories that I've been able to tell so far. And I've liked all the little wins because I feel like with blogs, it's easier to track growth in a way. So it feeds back into building expertise, so to speak. So I've enjoyed that.
It's easy to tell what works, what doesn't
Yes,
work
because
when you
like
go to analytics.
you're in charge of like your domain, right? Like
Yeah.
the blog belongs to you. You're not fighting the algorithms that Elon Musk is putting in place or anything like that. You can't say, "Oh, this post is not doing well because
This and this
Twitter
happened.
is working." Did you know, by the way, that Substack and Twitter are beefing?
I
So if you
did
put
not know.
a link of Substack
On Twitter.
it doesn't go anywhere.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so apparently if you have a newsletter, like a
You have to find
Substack newsletter.
another channel.
So what I do usually is like I'll just put like a screenshot of the newsletter and tell people if you want the link, send me a DM because that way, that's the only way they can see the post. Because if you just put the Substack link, it's not going to go. Do you get? So there's so many things that people are fighting. Spiritual demons and they don't know.
Demons.
They don't know these things. So yeah.
Okay. So let me ask random. How many articles have you written for Sarah?
I don't know.
Wow.
Every week I write at least one.
Okay.
Every week I write at least one, and I've been writing articles since September. So I don't know, man. It's a lot of articles. I think I've written over 50 at this point.
50. What's your favorite?
My favorite article was the one I wrote for Spotify last year, Spotify Wrapped.
Oh yeah.
I love the article. I love the Airtel one as well. I think those are my two favorite articles.
I think these are the two that you even shared.
I
I've not
think
seen any. These are the only two I remember actually seeing on social.
I think I share the articles I love the most.
The most, yeah.
I think also because it took a lot of work to come up with that. I did everything, the design, so on the article itself, the writing, the research, everything.
Yeah.
So I think those are my most prized
possessions.
Yes.
All right, let's do Creator Summit then. Selar Creator Summit.
Yeah.
What did you like about 3 things that stood out to you from the first Creator Summit?
Am I a bagger? Something I learned from that event was a lot of times we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Okay.
Because we do not have enough audacity. Right? I'll ask Milton, I'll be like, do you think they'll say yes? I said, just try. Like,
what's the
just try.
No?
Like, do you get?
Yeah.
And so the day we got MI accepted, I was over the moon. I was like, oh my God. There was a speaker that had a $10,000 fee for like speaking at the event.
Okay.
And I was like, hi Milton, this guy says that he only speak at this event if I pay him 10. He said, still pitch, right? And he accepted and he spoke at the event, right? And so I feel like for a lot of people, especially when you're young in the industry, everything seems so scary.
Yeah.
Everything seems really, really scary, right? But like being able to ask, regardless of whether or not you feel like, regardless of whether you even feel like you're insulting them by asking.
Or even if you're scared.
It's so important because you'll be shocked at how much people are willing to do for you if you actually just try. Right. And then trying isn't just knocking on the door once and leaving, because we spent it was my job to like reach out to people, to send pitches, right?
Oh, okay.
Because I was the organizer, right?
Okay.
So we spent a very, very long time reaching out to people. And what you realize is that, like, okay, you send the first email, they don't reply. You reach out like 5 times.
Before you get that
Hi,
response.
please, I sent an email last week. We're just wondering if you would be interested. You don't reply. You reach out again,
Hi,
right?
this is a follow-up to my
This is a follow-up to my
follow-up.
follow-up. Can you please, at some point, you're like, okay, do we know anybody? So
That
we reach
can
out to
plug you to that
somebody.
person. Okay.
So it's just a thing of like not giving up at the first instance. We're very quick to like,
There's a
you
barrier.
said no, do you get? But like, try first, and then
Try again.
try again, and then at some point, maybe you get.
So what's that magic number in terms of that you can give it
I
as a
don't think.
pitching?
I don't think.
There's
I
no
mean, I
magic
just feel like
number.
until there's a hard no, keep
Okay.
trying. Do you get? If they don't reply your email, probably they didn't see it. Probably they have a management that
Hasn't gotten to
hasn't
it
gotten
yet.
to them. Do you get? Use a back door. Try somewhere else until you get something. So I think for me that was the most valuable thing, to have audacity and to try.
Would you say you guys as a team converted more through backdoors or as opposed to code pitching?
No. Code pitching.
Actually converted
Code
more
pitching
for you.
converted because you're not just sending, not just sending an email. You're backing it up with research. So we had done a creator summit previously. This was the
Yeah,
third
so you had like
edition.
results
So
and
we're
all
like,
to share.
last year we did this. This year we want to do this, right? We sent a pitch deck. We put numbers of the amount of people we had last year, the number of people we're trying to get this year. So it's not just code pitching.
Let's move to this year's Creator Summit, right? So, what are the things that you took away from last year's one in terms of learnings, and how did you make this year's one even better?
I think all the BTS things, like trying to do them on time,
Okay.
right? Even though this year I still feel like we were a little bit short on time, but like also another thing was Pan-Africanism, which I
okay.
think we did a better job at this year than last
Do you mean
year.
in selection of speakers?
Selection of speakers,
Okay.
right? Because Selar is a product that supports about 13 currencies. So we wanted to ensure that that reflected in the amount of speakers that we had. I think it was just a smoother process because we had already done it before, so we knew how to do it again. And I'm just going to mention LMUN here, which is like
Your baby,
my
another
baby,
one
another
of
of
your
my
babies.
babies.
All right.
Because like the same thing I noticed, like once you've done something before, it's a lot easier to
To
like
do that because you have
face
things
it.
to fall back on
Exactly,
and all
you
of that.
have lessons from the past that can
Since you have
influence.
brought it up, let's talk LMUN.
But okay.
I mean, you brought it up, so
Sure.
let's go. All right. You guys were everywhere this year, but a lot of people don't know what that is. So, pitch it in 30 seconds.
Okay, so LMUN is a model United Nations conference that happens in Lagos every year, hosted in the University of Lagos. It's an MUN. So that means that we are modeling what happens in the United Nations. Delegates who pay are assigned countries that they get to simulate in different communities. And the goal is to build your networking skills, your speaking skills, your research skills, your writing skills, and to develop policies that can be implemented depending on whatever topic you're speaking on or you're giving. Yes.
Okay, wow, that's a really good pitch.
Thank you.
All right.
And it's also endorsed by the United Nations, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
you had
and 2
to
years
add that
ago,
one
we
in.
won the MUN Refugee Challenge. So we are very, very good. Do LMUN this year or next year.
All right. So, what are your 3 live Canon events?
Working at Founders Connect, I
One?
think, was the first one for me.
Founders Connect or working with PC Timmy as a whole?
Oh, I think I can say working with Peace
Yeah.
confidently.
Yeah.
Just because there was so much I learned from
From her.
her. Yes. I think Peace made me fall in love with work.
That's one Canon
Important.
event.
Yeah. So people have plenty Canon events. You have,
Yes, now
what
you
are your
cannot
own
just be
Canon
one.
events?
I'm the interviewer.
I think
You're
going to
asking me.
Unilag, going to Unilag was a Canon event for me.
Okay. Going to
Yeah.
Unilag in general or going to Unilag Faculty of Law?
I mean, maybe Faculty of Law, but I just feel like being in an environment where I was given enough room to explore who I wanted to be and where I was with other people who were also very ambitious was very important, right? I wouldn't chalk it up to Unilag, to be honest. It was mostly my doing, but like I liked the fact that I could look at my classmates, look at my peers, and be like, "Oh, people are doing things.
Let me
I can
do
do
things
it too."
too.
Do you get? Because
Good.
that pandemic, COVID was a Canon event
For sure.
for me,
for sure.
right? That pandemic, all of us were doing courses. All of us were doing LinkedIn courses, Coursera courses. There was this Bright Academy thing. People were just doing things,
Yeah.
right? And in as much as people wanted to feel among, But then that feeling amongness also
Actually
had a
propelled
way
to
to
other things,
like,
yeah.
exactly. And I thought that was very important, right? People tell you don't copy your peers, but sometimes copy your peers. Sometimes they know what they're doing, right?
Actually,
And you can learn from them.
so it's more like don't copy your peers who don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
All right,
Yes, I
fair.
think because COVID made me very, very idle. So I had enough creative time to think about what I wanted to do, right? I started writing seriously on Medium during the COVID
Yeah,
era. I started building like a profile online during
yeah,
COVID as
like
well.
a
I started
brand.
posting on
Yeah.
Instagram during COVID as well. So I think that was very, very helpful or useful.
All
Yeah.
right, what would you say is like your biggest full circle moment, just in general? Doesn't have to be work, doesn't even have to be marketing, just in general.
Oh, biggest.
Okay, one that's
I don't
noteworthy.
think my full circle moment has happened yet.
Okay,
Yeah, but I really liked speaking at Law Ladies Day this year. Just because my first event I attended at Unilag was Law Ladies Day, and I was
that's
really
a full
young,
circle moment. Yeah.
right? And so, like, being able to speak after 7 years was like, wow, oh my God. It felt really good.
All right.
Yeah.
What would you say has been that thing that you have put in your bag from the different places you have worked with?
I think ownership.
Okay.
Ownership is very important. Like, knowing that the work that you're doing is your own. Because a lot of people think that, like, they delude themselves into thinking that they're just working for people.
It's not my work. Oh.
It's not my work. It's not this 200K that they're paying me. This 100K that they're paying me, right? But everything that you do feeds into something larger,
Okay.
right? In terms of the experiences that you
Yeah.
get and the way you craft your story for the next place that you're working at. So if I stay in a company for 3 years and I do not do anything substantial, it will be very hard for me to pitch why I should be
In the next company.
hired by another company, right? So taking ownership of your job and ensuring that you do work that is memorable enough to be on your CV or memorable enough to be on a Medium post
Yeah.
is very
Or a
important. And
LinkedIn
that's
post.
ownership, storytelling as well. People
Okay.
talk, and I agree. I do feel like um, a lot of people these days focus so much on telling their story instead of doing things that are worth talking about, right? But I also feel like there's some people who are very talented and who do such amazing work, but do not
Tell their stories
tell
enough.
their stories enough. And
Ah.
I feel like it's dangerous just because the stories change with time and you might look back at them and they might seem irrelevant to you, right? But being able to tell your stories have a way of bringing the right people to you.
Which would you say is more dangerous? Having doings but not talking about them, or not having enough doings and talking about them?
I think having doings but not talking about them is more dangerous to everybody than not having doings and talking about them because yes, um, people will eventually find out you're a fraud. But if you have doings and you don't talk about them, you're denying a lot of people the ability to know the things that you did and the fact that they can do it as well. And so you learn a lot just by knowing that other people can do things. The reason why I'm a content marketer today is because I watched Aisha Oulabi speak with
Good
PCTV
person.
on her channel, and I was like, oh, okay. So inside this marketing, I can just focus on content and I can still travel. Like it's not. Do you understand? Like
Yeah.
so, knowing that people can do things can motivate other people to do things, and you're just creating this ripple effect of doings. And that's because you told your story, right? So even when there are frauds out there
Yeah.
and it's a bad thing, I feel like if you're someone who has something noteworthy to tell, bless other people by telling it, right?
You never know who you're
You
inspiring.
never know who you're inspiring. You never know what they're learning from you that can feed into their lives.
Yes.
Telling your story is a ministry, and people do not like they think they're just doing it for themselves, but you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the 300 level graduate student in like that doesn't know what to focus on. I was speaking to a friend last night. She works in actuarial sciences, right?
Okay.
And people always think actuarial science is like aquatic. They don't know what it is,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a very
I don't even think I know what it is.
it's very related to accounting in a way
Okay.
or data. I don't know. I specifically don't even know what it is. But like she's making over $15 every month as an actuarial scientist. And
Oh,
she's
wow.
really young. She's 23, right?
That's
And I'm
crazy.
like, everybody's so crazed about tech. But many people don't know what you're doing. I think you should talk about what you do, right? Because then somebody else might be like, I don't think I have the aptitude for tech. Maybe this actuarial science that I'm doing, I can
I can
actually make money
from
from
it.
it. And
Yeah.
then that way you've changed somebody's life by telling that story.
All right. Random. Why do you like art so much?
I don't know. I've never thought about it. I like it. I like it because I like it.
Oh, okay.
I think it shows effort. Like being able to put something down. It's
Do you
like
think it always shows effort? Because like there was something I saw on Twitter. There's this guy that taped a banana to the wall, and it's worth maybe 20,000 or something. It's worth a crazy amount. I don't know. In my head, I don't see the effort in that. So, what can you like shed more light? Does it always
yeah.
require a lot of
It
effort?
doesn't always require effort to be meaningful. I
Okay.
think if something can evoke a feeling in someone, whether it's anger or disgust or irritation, I think it's a valid mode of art.
I
Because
actually never
art
thought
should
about it
make
that
you
way.
feel something.
Feel something.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it makes you feel something, it's
Then it's,
fine. It probably isn't just art that you resonate
that
with,
resonates with
and
fair.
that's fine. Like not everybody understands modern art or
True.
contemporary art,
Yeah.
right? But then the right person can sit in front of a banana taped on the wall and cry because they remember something from their childhood.
That's funny to picture, but
But
I think I
like,
get what
I'm
you
not
mean.
even kidding,
Yeah.
right? Do you get?
Because like I even watch some videos of people reviewing art, and I'm
Yeah.
seeing lines, and I'm like, wow, it speaks to my soul, and I'm
Yes.
looking at, okay, nice. So that's fair. That's fair. All right. What was your favorite thing to do as a child? Anything you remember?
Oh, I liked fashion illustration. I used to draw a lot when I was a
Okay.
child. I don't do as much anymore, but I still love drawing.
Why?
Um, because I think it's the only medium of art I express where I do not think. So
You just
everything else
do.
I do for everybody else. I write for everybody
Okay.
else. I create content for everybody else. I think drawing is something I've done primarily for myself, and it's been like that so far,
Is that
right?
part of your routine of treasure time in the morning, or
I've not really done it as much as I would want to be
okay?
honest, in recent time because I have a lot of projects I'm working on. But I think that's why I really like drawing growing up. And then also there's this nostalgic element to it just because it's something I've always done, even as a child. I used to draw clothes on paper for me and my sister
Yeah.
because we used to like act dramas. So it's like, oh, this is what this person is wearing. I used to
Yeah.
like entertain her with those kind of things. And so I think that's one.
All right.
Yeah.
Another weird one. What would you say is like a recent purchase you made that has improved the quality of your life, even if it's in a little way?
Going home, moving back home has improved the quality of my life. Yes. Because I have my room to myself.
Oh, okay.
I have my space. And it's very important for me to it's very important for me to know that if I wake up because I wake up very early,
Okay.
right? And I know that I do not have to like tiptoe around roommates or ensure that I'm making everybody feel comfortable.
While
So
you're
I'm able
doing
to
your thing,
like build my routine based on me. I've been a lot more selfish with my time
more
and
control.
more control. Exactly. I like that. Yeah.
I think at this point I'd like to play a little game.
Okay.
All right. If you indulge me.
Sure.
So you work in tech, in media and communication. So I assume you know the names of a lot of companies, right? So it's a variation of the alphabet game, right? So I say a letter of the don't start thinking. I say a letter of the alphabet, and you give me a company that goes to the alphabet. For example, I can say A. You probably will say Airtel, right? The goal is to see how many you can come up with in, let's say, 1 minute. Are you down? Or are
I
you
feel like I'll
thinking?
be so bad at this. I'm just as a disclaimer. I'll be bad at this, but I'll try.
Salaya started.
I'll try. Are you your count? Okay, so you're going
Yeah,
to after one
I'll
minute.
check my, yeah, so I want
All
to see how many
right.
you can get. So we'll probably have like a scoreboard or something
Okay.
and all of that.
So
So
is it
I'll say
Olympics?
A, you say, for example, A,
Outscore.
okay, B,
Binance.
okay, so you get the drift.
Okay.
Then we do that to Z and let's
All
see where
right.
you
Let's
stop.
go. Let's
And
go.
you can skip as well. He said,
How?
just skip, like if you don't know the letter, just skip.
Okay, I'll just say to skip.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. A,
Outscore.
B,
Bamboo.
C,
Credo.
D,
Skip. Skip.
E,
Erna.
I don't know how come, but F,
Fincra.
okay, G,
Geekpay.
H, they make noodles.
They make noodles. Noodles.
I,
Indomie. No, wait.
no, it's fine, J.
J.
You buy things from them.
I buy things from them. What kind of things? Jumia.
K,
K.
yeah,
Kuda.
okay, L,
L.
yeah,
L. Lemfi,
All
Lemfi.
right, 1 minute.
That's
I don't know how many you got, but I think you did a good job. You reached L. That's
yeah.
fair.
Thank you.
All right. Let's now move on to just a few more random ones. What would you say is a hill that you are willing to die on?
You know when people are so obsessed with finding their passion,
Mm.
I I don't know if that's something I truly agree with.
Okay. Details.
Yes, I like to talk about this.
Okay.
So people talk about a lot about how they want to find their passion. I want to find my passion,
Yeah.
right? But I think your passion finds you.
How so?
So like in my career, the more I have worked, the more I have found things I like and things I'd like to venture into. I wouldn't
Okay.
have known that I was good at project management or
If you didn't
event
do it.
management if I didn't do it first. Do you get? I wouldn't have known I would like marketing if I didn't start working with somebody who was doing marketing. So I think it's a lazy way out to sit down and fold your hands, waiting for to
Passion to
find your
find you.
passion. I think you find passion by doing. I think you do first and then you find what you're passionate about when you start doing. Another reason why I believe that is because sometimes you think your passion is a specific thing because you don't know the kind of work
That's behind that thing.
that's required to do that thing. And then the more you do it, the less passionate you become about it.
All
Right?
right.
So I don't know if it's a hill,
I
maybe a
think it's a
slope.
hill. He said it's slow.
The slope to die on
Oh,
is
fair.
that work first, passion later. I don't think there are any dream jobs. I think you just become really good at doing something and you
That
just
doesn't
do
really
it.
feel like a job.
Exactly. No, I mean, I think things should feel like jobs. If you do something over and over again, it will feel like a job. It's just a job you like or a
Ah,
job you want to be with, right?
interesting.
I think people have very interesting ideas about work and relationships, right? And I think that the media propels this idea that if you enjoy something, it's not going to be stressful. It will be stressful.
True.
You just are married to it. It's like a toxic relationship that you have with that
I'm
thing.
not sure that's the word I used to
Yeah,
describe
but
it.
it is in a way.
In
It's
a
like
way.
this hurts me, but I like it enough to keep doing it.
Let's move on to bad work experiences. Do you have many of those?
I have a few.
Okay, would you mind sharing some?
Yeah, so I used to work for a company in the
Yeah.
US, and the reason why it was bad was because they were paying Nigerians infinitely less than they were paying people in other countries that were working. And
And it's the same job.
huh?
And like it's the same job like both people are doing.
Yeah, I didn't like that, right?
That's wild.
I don't like when companies abroad pay Nigerians in Nigerian. Does that make sense? Like they do
Makes
it
a
a
lot of
lot.
sense. Yeah.
I mean, I know that you're trying to save money, but
Yeah.
then they're better. Like the gap could be a lot more reasonable. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do not. In fact, there shouldn't be a gap anyway. But
Because
even
you're
if
essentially doing the same job, right?
exactly, I don't like that. Another thing I haven't liked is working with people who do not know what they want. So if
Okay.
you hire me to do something and you keep shifting the goalpost every 2 weeks, I don't think we're going to have a good work experience. I also don't like working with people who um, are copying what everybody else is doing because you're stressing me. So then
Sure.
you come and you tell me, oh, I want us to try this because this company is doing this. And you're like, okay, we'll try this. And after 3 days, you come and like, actually, let's do it from this angle. Like, I do not like when people have no idea of their purpose. For every company I've worked for that I've loved working at, I could always pinpoint what their mission was, what we're trying to
To
do,
do,
what the
yeah.
goal was, right? But when you keep shifting the goalpost because you are not even certain if what you are
You
trying to
want to
do
even do, yeah.
is important, or I don't know, it just stresses me, right? And I do not like those experiences I've had working with people who just were, like didn't really know what they wanted from me as their whatever role I was working with them for.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What does the next 5 years of your life look like? Or rather, what will you want the next 5 years of your life to look like?
Working for media companies. I'm I don't know if I want to be in tech for a very, very long time. I
Why?
might. I prefer media. I like media a lot.
Okay. Why do you like media though?
Because it's fun.
Okay.
Like it's just I don't know. I know that the money's in tech. I'll probably work in tech for a while,
Alright.
right? And because I still need money to like build the kind of life that I want.
That you want,
and there's no
right.
shame in wanting money. But then there are also media companies that pay really well, and I want
True.
to find them. I want them to find me as well. I think
Oh.
I really like being able to inspire, educate, entertain people,
Mm-hmm.
and media is the most important medium to do that.
Media is the
right?
most important medium. Okay.
So I would
Fair.
like to work with companies that entertain, educate, inspire people, and I'd like to do that. I like to travel a lot. I don't want to live in Nigeria.
Well, I was going to ask that, but thank you for just answering
I
that
don't want to
already.
live in Nigeria. I want to like explore as much of the world as possible. I want to be a nomad.
Oh, digital nomad.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the
So I
Nigerian
think
in me wants to, rather the interviewer in me wants to ask, why don't you want to live in Nigeria? But I think,
it's pretty obvious
yeah,
why I wouldn't want to.
that pause.
Yeah.
All right, great. What would you say if I'm to pitch you to somebody, right? Oh, hire Treasure for this. What would I mention?
I'm very good at humanizing brands.
All right, what's your marketing stack? By stack, I'm sort of talking about those tools, stroke skills that if you didn't have them, you'd be, I won't say nothing, but like you won't be the person you are today.
Notion,
Hmm?
Google Workshop. I
Okay, the
use
workspace, yeah.
Google a lot, Workspace
Yeah.
rather. I use Google a lot for everything.
Fair.
Pinterest.
Of ideas?
Yeah, I have a lot of swag files on Pinterest that I
Fair.
just like hold on to.
Okay, I feel
Because a
there's
lot
one that
of
you are not mentioning yet.
like what?
The big C,
What's the big C?
Canva.
Oh my god. Yeah, I use
I thought I
Canva a
would be the person
lot.
even mentioned
Like
Canva
I
before
use
mention.
Canva. Canva is my work tool.
Oh,
Yes. I
okay.
use it for a lot of things.
Oh,
I'm trying to learn Figma.
oh, okay.
Yeah, just because I want to like be good at it. In case
Ah,
I venture into like graphic design. Because Chris
UX.
kept telling me that she thought I would be a very good graphic designer. So
I think so
I
too.
feel like I'd like to like explore graphic
Explore.
design at some point.
All right, so last two questions. One would be, I'm in year two, law or engineering or something. I want to enter marketing. I'm a good writer. What do I do?
Or join a community. So people don't talk a lot about the role communities play. They didn't really play a huge role in my joining marketing,
True.
right? But being in a space where other people are doing the same thing as you has a way of like fine-tuning what exactly it is that you want for yourself.
True.
Off the top of my head, I think Marketers Hub is a fantastic community to join
Okay.
because they're very intentional about like providing you with what you need in terms of like job opportunities, tools, questions, mentors. You need things like that when you're just starting out. Friends, you need friends as well. I feel like my marketing friends have really like supported me in my career. There are a lot of things that I do because I have friends in
People that, yeah,
marketing.
fair.
Yeah, so you need communities. We also have a community marketers therapy, even though it's like seasonal. But yeah, so join communities. They're very, very important and they will help you grow.
All right, so my final question to you, you could just look there, would be in 3 sentences or less, why do you create?
I create because it's all I know how to do. It's all I know how to do, really. If I have an idea, I have to put it out in some way, whether it's through writing or through design. I mean, now they pay me for it, but even before they were paying me for it, I was doing it, right? So it's a language for me, being able to write and communicate ideas. I create because it provides value for other people. With my newsletter, I've seen how like things I have written have helped people do specific things, and I think that's very valuable. I work to the designs I have created, the articles I have written, the projects I have managed have helped people in specific ways, whether it's to get the product or change their life in some way. I think that is why I create. I create because it's fun. Creating is fun, and creating is what God created us to do because He's a creator and He wants us to be like Him. So
I
that's
like
also
that.
why I create.
You write a newsletter, I read it, I like it.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
So I write a newsletter called the 20 something newsletter.
Yeah.
Because I figured sometime in 2022 that there were so many young people like me who had questions or who needed advice or inspiration, and I wanted because I was already doing that on Instagram. People used to ask me questions on my Instagram stories about like how to navigate life, and I would answer those questions, right? And people would reach out to me too via DMs to like answer
How do I do
questions.
this?
How do I do this? Treasure, I'm starting this. Treasure, what do I do if I'm scared? And so I really wanted a way to make those questions, like those answers, more accessible to people.
Sure.
And so that's why I started the newsletter. I was already writing on Medium, but I chose Substack because then Medium didn't, or I didn't know that Medium had an inbox feature, and I really wanted an inbox feature.
Yeah.
And Substack had that, so I started writing on Substack. Yeah,
Well, how many subscribers are you at now?
I'm almost 8K. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's impressive, actually.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for this. So I was going to ask if people want to reach out to you, maybe for work or to see some of your doings, how, where, when can they reach you?
Yeah, you can send me an Instagram DM. I think I am most accessible on Instagram. So my handle is Tresian. or you can send me an email, treasureokure@gmail.com. If it is lifestyle related or like content creation related, I prefer Tresian because that's my content creation email. So tresian@gmail.com. So either treasureokure@gmail.com or my Instagram or yeah. If you just see me on the streets, you can also
On
just
the
like,
streets of Lagos.
hi Treasure, I have a question and I'll answer you.
All right, that's fantastic. So thank you for watching, for staying to the end. If you liked our interview, you want to watch more like it, like, comment, subscribe, share to someone, please, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Kola zama, kola zama, kola zama, kola zama. I dey find money,